على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب رب العالمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم لنا بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا عليم. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us to gather again in this blessed month of Ramadan. Starting in 2020, the COVID year, after Salatul Asr, I had begun to cover one book. That book was called Risalatul Mustarshideen, the treatise for the seekers of guidance. And that was the first book in Islamic history that was written and compiled about tazkiyah, tasawwuf. And alhamdulillah, from the feedback I got, usually there's always anonymous negative feedback, but I got a lot of positive feedback about it. People really liked it. People really felt it was something different. Because of course, tazkiyah, tasawwuf, all of this, it is a fruit of the Quran and Sunnah. But sometimes when it's presented in a different way, it becomes interesting for a person. It's a different change of flavor. Because we have our weekly dars hadith, we have our daily ta'aleem, we have after Ramadan, after Taraweeh, we have our daily tafsir as well. So this is just something different. So now we finished that book last year after 4 years. So I thought we'd switch to another book. And so I was thinking what it is. So recently this one book has been translated. I'll be reading the Arabic and stuff, but if you want to find this book, you can find it online, called The Code of Companionship. Code of Companionship. In Arabic, the book is called Al-Anwar fi Adab al-Suhbah. Al-Anwar, meaning the lights, fi Adab al-Suhbah. The illumination or the lights illuminating the path and the etiquettes of companionship. Why do we want to talk about this? Because our deen is not solitary, right? Part and parcel of our deen is meeting with one another. What we see that's going on right now across the world, especially in Gaza, but in many other places. Why are we hurting? Why does it bother us? Because we are a part of an ummah. And part of the ummah means being unified and having companionship and feeling and benefiting from those around us. So this book will teach us how to sit with and how to benefit from others, and inshallah how to also learn and benefit from others, one, and then learn how to be a benefit to other people as well, right? Because our deen is not all about taking. We take, of course, but we have to give back as well. So it teaches us how to benefit from others, how to benefit others. Now, I'll just read the introduction of the book, but prior to reading the introduction today, and we'll get into more matters tomorrow, I want to introduce the author. Who is the author? Because works, they're recognized by the quality and the stature of the one who wrote them. For example, if I present a book to you that I wrote, it'll be however you think I am, right? Or if the book is by, for example, Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi alayhi, you say, oh subhanallah, okay, I have to read it, I have to pay attention. Even if there's something that I don't understand. If I write a book and you do something you don't understand, I say, oh, the author's dumb, right? If there's something in Imam Ghazali's book that you don't understand, you say, no, there has to be something here. Let me think of it. So who is this author? The author, his name is Imam Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani, rahmatullahi alayhi. Has anybody heard the name? Abdul Wahhab al-Sha'rani. Great scholar. Those Hazrat Mufti al-Rahman Sahib probably refers to him quite a bit. He was a great Egyptian scholar. He lived in Cairo, but he was born actually outside of Cairo. He was born in a village called Qalaqshanda. If any of the Egyptian brothers might know. He was born in a village called Qalaqshanda in the Hijri year 898, which corresponds to 1492, the year that Columbus sailed the ocean blue. His father passed away in 907 Hijri. So at that time, after 3 years, his family, they moved to Cairo, Qahira. And at that time, Cairo was the seat of Islamic learning. It was the seat of Islamic learning. That's where all of the great ulama from all of the mazhabs would gather together. And in fact, his life overlapped the life of Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti rahmatullahi alayh, the author of many books on every single subject, probably most famously Tafsir Jalalain. He met Imam Suyuti rahmatullahi alayh. He didn't spend that much time with him because he was young, but he benefited from him. But what I want to demonstrate is that he lived at the time where Cairo was the center of the Islamic universe, and he benefited there. And he was a descendant of Muhammad bin Hanafiya. Does anybody know who Muhammad bin Hanafiya is? Naim Abu Hanifa. Right, the son of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anh from another wife. So he is a descendant from this noble lineage. So now when he moved to Cairo, he began to study deen. Usually you see people who don't have a father in life at that time and now as well. It's very difficult. Some people they overcome, but whole societies have been torn apart by lack of father figures. And those that overcome, they have to go over much more and go through much more than those who have a father in their life, typically. And Imam Abdul Wahhab Sha'rani rahmatullahi alayhi was somebody who overcame. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him by giving him good mentors, good teachers, and people who helped him. So he began to study deen and he excelled a lot. If you want to know about the type of scholar that he was, sometimes we have scholars who are, all they care about is one subject, right? Somebody, all they know is fiqh, they don't know tafsir, they don't know hadith. You have some people, all they're good at tajweed, they're not good at anything else. You have some scholars who all they focus on is the purification of the heart, but because they don't know about Quran and they don't know about tafsir, they misquote ahadith and Quran left and right? Because all they focus on is purification of the heart. But Imam Abdul Wahhab Sha'rani rahmatullahi alayh, he focused on everything. If you want to understand the type of scholar he was, who's heard of Bukhari Sharif? We've heard that, right? In the last year of Alim course, we study Bukhari Sharif. Everybody studies. In 1 year, we go through all of the hadith. 8,000 or so hadith. How much detail can we go into? Not that much. Okay? He took one commentary of Bukhari Sharif called Fathul Bari. I have Fathul Bari. It's 17 volumes. I have not read one volume of it, just reference. He read the entire thing. Then he took another commentary of Fathul Bari called Umdatul Qari, longer than Fathul Bari. He read the entire thing. Then he took the commentary of Qastalani on Bukhari. He read that entire thing as well. That's just about Bukhari. Muslim Sharif, he read several shuruhat. It says 25 tafasir of Quran, long and short, he read beginning to end. Right? We're talking about, just to understand these takes difficulty. He read them. One dictionary and book of Arabic grammar, he read 25 times, cover to cover, again and again. Because it's not enough just to be Arab to understand Quran and Sunnah. There's more great depth to the words. This Arab, he read this dictionary 25 times. Along with that, he read the whole Ihya Ulumuddin and many, many other books in Tasawwuf, Tazkiyah. Then he was a great scholar of Shafi'i fiqh. He wrote a book of comparative fiqh called Al-Mizan, where he tries to reconcile all of the differences between the mazhabs. He was a great Shafi'i scholar. But interestingly enough, in that book, Al-Mizan, he writes that the oldest and biggest madhab and the madhab that will last the longest is the Hanafi madhab. This is what he wrote in his book. And Hanafis, they love to quote that as well. Right? Now, he became such a great scholar that he started a Zawiya. Zawiya, also in Urdu, people call it a khanqah, where people, they come for their spiritual reformation. And he made friends with, mashallah, people who cared a lot about deen and that were well off. So several awqaf, several trusts were established. This is something that, our masajid can look into. I believe Brother Muqsid was working on this, starting an endowment for a masjid, awqaf, things that will fund masajid so that we don't always have to fundraise, right? Fundraising is in its place, and inshallah come in 1 week to our fundraising dinner. But along with that, we have to have endowments as well. So he made several endowments that funded this Zawiya. And when he found any student with potential to study, he would take care of all of their expenses. He would get them married. He would give them a stipend. He would do everything. He said, you just focus on deen. Okay? he reached such a high level that one time the Ottoman Khalifa, Sultan Salim visited Cairo. Everybody went to meet him, but Imam Sha'rani rahmatullahi alayhi, he didn't go. The Sultan, he heard about this, he said, he's not here. So the Sultan himself went and met Imam Sha'rani rahmatullahi alayhi. Imagine the king, he says, this person didn't come, I'm going to go and I'm going to meet him personally. Another time there was a governor of Cairo named Ali Pasha. He was going to visit Turkey. So he told Imam Sha'rani, I am very close to the Khalifa. We are very close to the Khalifa. Let me know if you need anything from him. He says, me or you? Is okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. Imam Sha'rani wanted to teach him a lesson. So he said that, do you have any need from Allah? We're very close to His presence. That's why he became silent. He really couldn't say after that. His main teacher, he had many, many different teachers, but his main teacher's name was Sheikh Ali Al-Khawwas. Many times you have a great luminary, they become known around the world, but their teacher becomes forgotten. Like Haji Imdadullah Muhajir Makki rahmatullahi alayh. Everybody knows his name, people forget the teacher, but who's behind them, right? So his teacher was Sheikh Ali Khawwas, and Sheikh Ali Khawwas was his teacher in Islamic sciences and also his teacher in spirituality. He told him one time, he said, all of your books that you have, because he had a really good connection, he was able to get books, right? At that time, books were handwritten. He's read all of these books. His teacher told him, I want you to sell all of your books and give it all in charity. Imagine how that will feel. Me, alhamdulillah, I have a lot of books. So people that have been to my house have seen it. But if you ask me for one, I'll think 100 times to give it to you. Why? One of my teachers that I did hifz with, he's good friends with Mufti Rabbani. Mufti Rabbani is well known that if you give him a book, it will take some time to get it back. So when I went to Chicago, he found me and he said, go and tell Mufti Rabbani, give me my book back. Right? Tell him that, he said, I tell him the only person who's a bigger fool than the one who borrows a book is the one who lends a book, right? That's what he told me to tell him. I told him, he started laughing, right? So anyway, he was told, sell all of your books and give all of the money in sadaqah. Imagine how that must have felt to him at that time. Very, very, very difficult upon his heart, but he did it. But he felt an emptiness. So his teacher said, spend this time in the zikr of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him this huge, huge rank. But he reached this level, and people became jealous of him. That happens. So there were people who would take his works, and at that time, books were handwritten. They would add things in there and they would attribute it to him. And they would say all of these bad things about them. But alhamdulillah, he overcame it. He said, my enemies, all they want to do is they want to harm me. And so I'm not going to respond to them. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them. When he passed away, his last words were, he passed away on the 12th of Jumada Ula in 973, 1565. So he had a long life, around 80 years. He said, I am departing to my merciful and noble Lord. Imagine me or you, if we're passing away and we're able to say this, I am departing to my merciful and noble Lord, that means that we have accomplished something in life. I'm just going to read the introduction today so we could start the book, and inshallah we'll go into the topic tomorrow. He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the Perpetually Merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise, or praise itself, is due to Allah, belongs to Allah, the creator, nourisher and sustainer of the universe. وَأُصَلِّي وَأُسَلِّمُ عَلَى سَيِّدِنَا مُحَمَّدٍ نُورِ الْمُبِينَ. And I send salutations and blessings upon our master, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the clear and manifest light. وَعَلَى سَائِرِ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ وَالْمُرْسَلِينَ. And I send these salutations and blessings upon all of the prophets and messengers. وَعَلَىٰ آلِهِمْ وَصَحْبِهِمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. And on all of their families and their companions. هَذِهِ رِسَالَةٌ. This is a treatise, this is a short book. اقتضتها البطالة. That batala demanded. Batala has two meanings. Batala, it means idleness and laziness, or it can mean chivalry. Two opposite meanings. So either he's saying that this book, I looked around me and I saw that the people had become very lazy and very lackadaisical about this important topic of suhbah, of having good company. Therefore, this laziness demanded that I write the book to guide people. Or chivalry, meaning that it was my need, the demand to help people dictated that I write this book. Either meaning can be there. تشتمل على ثلاثة فصول. This book has 3 chapters, 3 sections, وخاتمة, and it has a conclusion. أسأل الله أن ينفع بها جاهل العصر وعالمه. I ask Allah that through this work He benefits the ignorant person of our time and the scholar. So this tells us that this book is a book of general benefit. It's not so complex that only the scholar can understand it, but it's not so shallow that a person of great knowledge will feel that it's basic and elementary. They don't need to read it. He'll write it in a way that the average reader can understand it, but within it, there'll be secrets that the ulama and that the scholars can pick up. Inshallah, if Allah gives tawfiq, we'll continue with this tomorrow. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.